Hey, and welcome, you guys. How is everybody doing tonight? Happy Friday. Happy Found Friday. That's going to be my thing, y'all. It's going to be Found Friday from here on out to the end of the season. Fingers crossed. Um, Before we get started, let's do all the things at the bottom of the screen. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, comment in the comment section, and share this video where you share your videos because sharing is caring. My apologies, you guys. Your girl is a little bit all over the place. What else was I about to move? Originally I had this set up for 11:15, but to be perfectly honest, and I moved it to 9:45. But to be perfectly honest, your girl was a little bit tired. I had to stay up last night and catch that series finale for Power Book 2 Ghosts. So I wouldn't wake up in the morning to spoilers. And I was honestly anticipating it. So I did want to stay up. So I stayed up for that. So your girl's a little tired. I'm like, I'm not gonna hang till 11:15. I'm gonna get on here and do this live. I know other people are doing their lives, so we just gonna roll with it. But I'm gonna get on here and do this live. Those that miss it will catch the replay, and then I'm gonna hop off and go to bed because I gotta go to work tomorrow. But in the future, we will try. I'm trying to do better with having a steady spot for things. So, speaking of, I'll give it to you now and remind you guys at the end of the recap. Power Book 2 Ghosts, the series finale, season 4, episode 10. I will be doing tomorrow night around 11:15. And that's it. That's all. But for Found Fridays, we're going to try. 11:15 might be too late. We're going to try to go with 10:15, 10:30 at the latest. Just keep your notifications on in case something changes. Because I'm just trying to gauge it by how I feel. Look, see your girl already in her pajamas too. The hair was looking a little crazy. So I'll put this on and we're going to go with it. Because I just want to get up here and talk to you guys about Found, which was a really good show. This is our second season. Oh, let me start with saying that. It's Found Friday. We're here for Found Season 2, Episode 1, Missing Wild Bait. But before we get into that, this was a really good show. This is our second season. Season 1 really came in with a bang. And I'm just going to give you a quick little synopsis or breakdown for some of you who might not have seen it. Gabby Mosley, who is our lead character, was abducted when she was younger, I think for a year. And in the course of that, there was another young lady that was also abducted. Her name was Bella. We will learn to know her as Lacey. And they did end from her teacher, who she calls Sir, and they ended up escaping. And Gabby starts a firm for underserved children that are missing to help find them. And she's really doing the Lord's work. She's doing the Lord's work for real. And also, she decided to have her a little get back when her father passed away and scoops her up with the help of Don, who also works for her. Now, he didn't know about this part and puts her in the basement. So she's had him abducted for 9 months. So when stuff hits the fan and Gabby's kind of sorry, I know it's going on my lip gloss, feeling some type of way. Now, I can't remember exactly what the turn of events were because I didn't go back and rewatch season 1. But long story short, she was going to turn herself in, and Sir was in love with Gabby in like a weird kind of way. Like he loved her like a daughter, but he kind of loved her like a girlfriend. So it was really strange. And he wasn't having it, so he ended up escaping. Before she could turn him in and turn herself in, he escaped and snatched up her girl Lacey, who he had always resented since he kind of picked Lacey up or Bella up for Gabby as company. Homegirl wanted a cat, and this is what we did. So that's basically where we were kind of left at the end of season 1. And if you guys really want to get a little more into a breakdown of the characters, I did hop on last night with Candy and Aries, and we kind of went through the characters and what happened in season 1. So I didn't stream it to my channel, so either go to Candy Love's channel or Aries .in for movies and watch that. And I will be joining the ladies this Sunday, and we'll do a live recap as a group. But I'm trying to also do my own recaps, so I'm here for you now to break down to you episode 1, and it didn't disappoint, and they're gonna have us by the edge of our seat every episode because that's what it does. We're gonna be upset. We're gonna have all of the emotions. So I just have a couple of pictures up here, nothing too crazy, not too much, just, literally a handful. So we are opening where I believe we left off with Gabby calling everyone to tell them not to eat or drink anything because what Sir also did, he had poisoned Lacey's dog. And so the whole crew, they were, oh, that's the other point I meant to mention. Gabby ended up revealing to Don, to Margaret, these are her team members, Don, Margaret, and Zeke, what she had done in terms of her kidnapping Sir escaping, also Lacey, nor believe. So the whole crew is over her right now, and she's calling everyone, trying to warn them to be, don't eat anything, don't drink anything, because Sir took her rat poisoning. So they're over her. She can't get nobody on the phone, and Don finally winds up calling her back. So she tells him, listen, don't eat or drink anything. Sir took my rat poison, and nobody else is answering me. So Don's got to try to help her out. Like I said, the crew is pissed off with, I'm about to call her Jax. I got to catch up on that too, y'all. Pardon me. I did get one episode of Reasonable Doubt up, but we going, as I'm doing all of these newer things, I promise to make the things up to you guys. So Don finally makes it to Margaret because we know Margaret going to be at that bus station looking for some clues for this son to turn up that's been missing for all these years. But first, he actually rewinds. Zoo, 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 zoo. Margaret is always at the bus station looking for this son that went missing all of these years ago. So Don gets her on the phone and tells her not to eat or drink anything. And she was just about to tear into that little sandwich. She had her little lunchbox, and tells her to get somewhere safe. Now he heads to Zeke's while Gabby is supposed to be heading to Lacey's. And once he gets to Zeke's, Zeke doesn't answer. So Don basically has to break the door down and get in. And indeed, he's been poisoned. Sir is laid out on the ground. So he calls, 911. We got to get the ambulance and get this man to the hospital. And over at Lacey's place, baby, keep trying to have to fight the urge to call her Jax. Gabby is there, and Lacey is, I think Margaret is also there. Lacey is gone, y'all. Lacey is gone, and the place is a wreck. It turns out, we're gonna find out later, that our girl Lacey really put up a fight, but everything it's not looking so good. Gabby is believing the worst of the situation. So we flash back to 2003, and it's a month after Gabby and Bella, like I said, / Lacey, because she changed her name, changed her identity, running from this man. The whole time we're gonna find out what happened with that. Escape. Also, primarily in season 1, we got a lot of flashbacks and a lot of background story to Gabby. So I do believe in this season we're gonna have to find our girl Lacey at some point. But also we maybe getting more Lacey flashbacks, which I'm assuming we start to get here. So Bella, who is Lacey, hears a noise at home when her mom comes in, and the mom is telling her, it's just another nightmare. But baby girl saw something in that closet, and turns out she was not wrong. Later on in the episode, we do see the mom is having a hard time connecting with her since she's been home. Now, I can't remember exactly how long she was missing. I know Gabby was missing for a year. I don't remember exactly how long Bella / Lacey was missing. If you guys do remember, get down in the comments and let me know. But she hasn't been speaking, so it's just really hard for her. She's crying as a mom. Child, life be life, and these kids be kidding. So she's just trying to open the child asleep is kicking me in the face. The lines of communication and just kind of talk to her daughter, but she's frozen. She is in a frozen state and she's not speaking. But she's gonna try her best to work it out. She does seem to find a solution. Like I said, I believe throughout season 2, we are going to get more of Bella backstory and flashbacks. So we get a quick scene where we see Sir is grooming, and I don't mean that kind of grooming. I mean literally grooming. He's dyeing his hair, he's shaving his face, and getting himself all together. While Trent is at the station and he is rallying the troops, they're looking into Sir's family. So we know his mom passed away, dad's location is unknown, and they're looking for his brother and his half sister and anyone that could help them, anyone that could have helped hide Sir all of this time. So the crew is gathered at the hospital and Zeke was poisoned. So, they pumped his stomach and they're doing everything that they can to kind of help him out. And the doctor's not sure if he's going to wake up. When Trent finally gets there, he's asking about Zeke and Lacey, and Gabby says Lacey is dead. And Margaret was like, "Excuse me." She was not pleased. She was like, "You don't get to say that." And Trent has no idea what's going on because you can kind of see the tension that's going on amongst the group towards Gabby in particular. And he's the only one that's in the dark. He has no idea what's going on. So Zeke's dad finally arrives because they're trying to determine who's going to stay there, who's going to go look for Lacey. Zeke's dad finally arrives to look after Zeke so the rest of the group can go look for Lacey, because Zeke got a little tender spot for Lacey, and also Zeke's father looks like it's trying to come around because we also found out in season 1 that Zeke was like funding most of the operation, that his family had a lot of money. So his dad, I guess, is trying to get on better terms because Zeke was abducted when he was younger, and that's why he's agoraphobic and all of those things. So dad is trying to do his part and show up, and he does. So Margaret goes and she's taking a look around Lacey's place, and she's trying to do the little spidey thing she has, because that's one of Margaret's skills. She gets these little spidey senses that she could kind of see what went on in the room, and she taught Lacey kind of how to do that too in season 1. But it doesn't look like the spidey senses is not spidey sense, and what we see as she's looking around is that conversation she had with Gabby about Sir is kind of interfering with what she does. So she does take some video on an iPad, which was going to help them with the case later on. When Don goes over to Zeke's place, he's kind of cleaning up. I'm not quite sure what he was exactly looking for, but he finds on the computer his letter of resignation to, I'm not going to call someone Jax, to Mosley and Associates. So he kind of deletes that from the computer. Meanwhile, Gabby has called Lacey's mom and she's on her way. And if Gabby ain't going to do nothing else, she is going to butt into Trent's investigation at every turn. So now she's butting into the part where they're investigating the late young lady that was walking the dog for Lacey to find out if she has any involvement. But Gabby knows better. She knows Sir works alone or with her. So Margaret says, "Listen, I need every detail about Sir to help find Lacey." So she makes Gabby sit down, and Gabby starts, she's like, he's a master manipulator. He's well studied. And Margaret's like, "That's not even what I'm looking for." So Gabby's like, "Well, Sir likes to be well groomed. He has a well groomed appearance." And Margaret is kind of mortified that Gabby knows what type of shaving cream he uses and what type of razor it is that he uses. But she did at some point have to groom him. And she's just kind of mortified how enmeshed almost that Gabby and Sir have became. But she's like, "You wanted me to help you get the inside scoop to how he thinks, and that's what I'm here for." So as they start to get into it, Trent walks in and again, he could feel the vibe, but he confirms that Margaret's sandwich was indeed poison. So he's like, "Listen, what the hell is really going on here?" So Gabby starts to tell him that Sir took Lacey as payback for what she did. He's like, "Oh, Gabby, what you done did, girl? What did you do?" But Margaret in another room is questioning Don about, you knew what happened, didn't you? And he's like, "Well, I only recently found out everything." And Margaret is mad that he could participate having been, abducted herself. So he's like, "I thought that Gabby had put Sir out of his misery," because basically Don helped scoop Sir up for Gabby after she lost her father to try to help her cope through it. So he kind of honestly thought that she put him out of his misery, and that was the end of that. And Margaret is not with it either way. She's like, "That's acceptable to you," but he's like, "Yeah, it kind of is." So she's like, "Listen, once we find Lacey, I'm done. I'm out." And he's like, "Well, what about the missing people?" She don't really answer. Margaret's just her moral high ground has been, she's conflicted. She's not feeling it. So Gabby is telling same thing I just said. She's telling Trent, listen, my dad has just died. I wanted Sir to pay. He's like, he's mad that he trusted her. And, he almost, I thought he had lost his job, but I guess he got his job back at the end of season 1. And I forgot that part. But he's even going through like, I was at your house and that man was downstairs and, you lied to me. And it's just the betrayal is hitting the whole group and it's not looking good for Gabby. But I mean, at least at this point, she is being honest. So hopefully we can do the things we need to do and find out. So he tells her, like, listen, you need to call your lawyer because he planned to arrest her. He had the handcuffs in his hand and everything. And I have to be careful not to say sir, because I call people sir sometimes, but now we have a character sir. So this is Trent that we're talking to. So she's like, listen, I do want to pay for my crimes. I want to turn myself in, but let me find Lacey first. So reluctantly, he gives her 72 hours to find Lacey. Now he goes to Gabby's house because he wants to go to the scene of the crime. She's thinking like, we've already been to Lacey's. No, 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 boo boo. Your house where you kidnapped this man and held him in your basement. So when we get there, Gabby's kind of having flashbacks of some words that Sir has said to her. But Trent notices like, you was going to turn yourself in, but you have scrubbed this place clean. Like there is no evidence of any sorts. Like I can smell bleach and the whole nine. I said, yikes, and Gabby just sitting there looking like, well, I mean, so at that moment, Gabby, sometimes her spidey senses be going off. She stops to think and she's like, there's no way he could have covered all that ground to get to Zeke and poison Zeke, to snatch Lacey up, to break out of Gabby's place, to poison Margaret's sandwich, which she never ate, without him having a car. So they're like, okay, he had to take somebody's car. So they, going to check the neighborhood cameras and all the things because, Trent's a police officer. So they find the car in question, and Gabby decides to give a press conference because she wants to speak directly to Sir because they speak the same language. So I think it was Aristotle, I think, is what she went back to in her head when she went down in her basement. So she decides to say those words. I'm speaking directly to you, Sir. I'm speaking directly to you. The police, oh Lord, I have to find out this lady's name, the other Black lady investigator. And give me a minute, y'all. I just really want to look because I'm always forgetting this lady's name. But they find out that, none of the siblings have seen Sir since he abducted Gabby, and that was a long time ago. So that was a dead end, but we kind of knew that. And this is what I was talking about. So the other detective says that she found out some information regarding Sir's mom passing away. So there was a fire in the home, but it turns out that somebody had poked the mama. There's, stab wounds, and that's actually what took her out and not really the fire itself. So they're trying to figure out like, okay, so kids covered up. So it was kids that covered it up. So they're going to have to double back for that. And I'm just curious to see where that is going to go, because now you're giving us a whole nother part of the story that I didn't anticipate getting, but that's what this show does. And I really do enjoy it that we get to see, different pieces of it. Detective Shaker, I think is her name. Child, that's what we're going to call her because I can't never remember the lady's name. And they did say it in an episode and I forgot to write it down. So they find the car that Sir, stole, and they go to the scene. And like I said, Detective Shaker has to like, listen, Gabby, we got to do this the right way. You see her down here in the corner. She's holding Gabby like, all right, girl, come on, get it together. We got to do this the right way, because Gabby runs off of emotions a lot of times, and she butts in and interferes where she ought not interfere. And when it's a police investigation, you kind of got to let them do it the right way. So they find the car. They manage to keep Gabby away. They open the trunk because they do the little sensor, like the heat sensor thing, and it looks like there's a body in it. But when they open it, it's a mannequin. The mannequin's got like some water taped to the chest, and it's a copy of Native Son. But just that moment, you see everybody looking in the trunk. That's the other picture here. They got to run over to the hospital because something is going on with Zeke. And I had, I mentioned agoraphobia earlier, but I watched the episode twice. I watched once at work and then I watched once at home, take my notes and get reacquainted. But the first time I watched it, I was like, oh Lord, I done forgot all about Zeke's agoraphobia, but he did not, baby. He is awake and he is losing his shit. So the doctors want to medicate him and sedate him. And, I think who was there? Don and Margaret, and they kind of got to kick Gabby out because him seeing Gabby is like making it worse and it's triggering him. So they kick her out. And then Margaret and Donna, like, he does not need to be sedated and evaluated, which is what they wanted to do. They're like, he needs to go home. So Zeke's dad is also there. So they plead with him, and against the doctor's wishes, the dad agrees, and the dad takes him home. We see when he's there, he got like an IV drip bag. I'm like, that's all you need. But that's what happens. Soon as he get home, he is ready to jump back into work because he's trying to find Lacey. Like I said, he got a little sore spot. They got a little thing going on. So his dad and Don are kind of trying to tell him that like he may not have made it. And Zeke is like, you do not know Lacey. And Don's like, I do. He was like, and you still don't know her, because Lacey was prepared for it all, like not just her dog. Like she had protection all over the place, bats and knives and all kinds of stuff. Like she was ready to protect herself. You kind of get tired of hiding. Ma'am has 11 locks on the door too, but she just wanted to prepare herself. It's kind of giving J-Lo and enough. So that's what we have from Lacey. So Zeke is going to do the best he can to locate her. So Lacey's mom has arrived, and she knows the whole crew. She's like, oh, you must be Margaret. And of course she knows Gabby from back in the day. And we're talking to Zeke on the screen. And with his help, they're going to try to figure out where Sir would be staying. So I believe Don had ran everybody's credit cards, but there was no activity. So Gabby's like, he particularly tried to take it out on everybody. Like, why would he not do anything to you, Don? Because Don was the only one that seemed to not have any type of thing that they found to have poison on it. So he stops and thinks, because Don has a husband. So they check the husband's credit cards and they find charges of 3 possible places he could have stayed. So they gets to work, doing everything they do. They have a lot of resources to make it happen. That's what I like about this show. It's gives you a little bit of those Scandal vibes mixed with, I can't think of what else, baby, but y'all can get down in the comments and correct me. This going to be a short one because we almost at the end. Anybody coming through on a replay, chime in, and then we'll get more into it next week, because I'll try to post it on my community tab, try to post it on my social media, so we can have a little more audience participation on our Found Friday. But for now, like I said, your girl moved it from 11:15 up so I can get her done and go to bed. Okay, because I still gotta at least do one. Child, it's a whole thing. We talk about that when we get to the end. So we do see Sir, and he's, I'm like, what phone he got? So Sir is watching Gabby from earlier, as she knew he would be. And the lights and the sirens from them looking for him kind of ticks him off, right? And he's able to escape in a nick of time. Like, it gives him a heads up, if you will. He's able to escape in the nick of time. And so they bust into this place. They see moisture, they're looking for their Blue's Clues. But Lacey is alive because she has left Gabby a clue. Now, initially, they thought that it was Sir that left a clue, because when they found the body in the trunk, I think there was a note on it that also said not yet or something like that. So it looked like it was okay, but it wasn't okay, because Gabby was like, okay, what? So Gabby is reporting back to Lacey's mom, and she's letting her know that she feels responsible, but she was like, I know that you took Sir. Like, Lacey called me, because I guess this is just the night she was just disappearing. We only had like a 24-hour time span, if you will. So she's like, she told me that you had kidnapped him, and the only person that is responsible for Lacey being missing is Sir. So that's kind of what Gabby needed to hear, to kind of like take a deep breath, and kind of, get into it. Oh, there's also a scene that I kind of left out of my notes where Zeke's dad was talking to Margaret, just baby, just about the joys of being a parent. The joys of being a parent and everything that he tried to do and tried to prepare for once Zeke came home, and like, just the disconnect of being a parent and you're trying to do the right thing and you're not always able to hone in and find exactly what that right thing is. So that's kind of where we saw ourselves with that little scene. I'll just put it in there. I can't remember exactly where it was. So most of this is in order, but sometimes we're just gonna go with it because you know. So Zeke, from the footage that Margaret got on that iPad, puts together a video to recreate what happened based on the damage and the blood spatter. So it turns out, we see her fight, like she's fighting Sir. So Lacey was alive and fighting when he took her out of there. Um, and it's actually at this point where Gabby realizes that the clue is from Lacey because she sees a book on the floor that she gave her once upon a time. So that's when we get a flashback to Lacey's mom bringing Gabby to see her because she's like, I can't help you, but I think I can find someone that can. So she brings Gabby in, and they're crying and they're hugging, and whole time Sir is lurking through that damn window. We see Lacey, I'm gonna call it in the semi present because I'm assuming this is like when he first abducted her. So it's present, but it's not like at this very accurate to this moment. Lacey is being tied to the chair, child, by Sir. So she's like, all of those times that I thought I was having nightmares, because like I said, when she heard that noise, Mama said she hearing things. We look like we seen somebody in the closet. There were times we seen somebody in the window, but she's like, every time I thought I was having nightmares and hallucinations, it was really you. So he was like, it took you long enough, kid. I said, He said, and I knew it would pay off. So she was kind of curious, like, why you would have been keeping an eye on me and what have you. But he's like, I knew where to find you. Gabby's dad moved her, so I couldn't find her. But you were always my key to Gabrielle, because that's what he calls her, because that was a whole bone of contention. Gabrielle was like, is Gabby. He was calling her Gabrielle because, like I said, this was her teacher that kind of creepily took an interest in her and scooped this young teenage girl up. So Gabby is like vowing to the mom, vowing to herself and anybody that will listen to find her. So she takes that book, Native Son, that she found in the trunk, and she sees these little, blues clues, little post-its, it looks like little hieroglyphics. And, she's writing it down and she's coming up with letters, or not letters. I think it was a phone number. And the phone number ends up, we run our Googles and find out the phone number is a local payphone. I said, excuse me, found this where you lost me at. Where now they're supposed to be in believe the DMV area. I think DC in particular. Again, you guys could get down there. Correct me. I'm refreshing my memory. I didn't rewatch season 1. We hop right into season 2. And I was like, where can y'all find a payphone nowadays? Like, where? That was interesting to me, but we gonna go with it anyway. So Gabby goes to the payphone and she, kind of looking, and just as she's walking away, the phone rings and she's like, thinking it's Lacey. It's Sir. Hello, Gabrielle, baby, and that is where the episode ends. So we are in for it this season. The season looks like it is not going to disappoint. It is not going to miss because, like I said, season 1 was giving us everything that we needed. So our next episode is titled, because it's always something with missing. So this one is Missing While Bait. Episode 2 is going to be titled Missing While Difficult. Season 1 was 13 episodes. That's such a weird number. Most people don't do 13. They're like, 13's unlucky. So I'm curious if we're going to see. Well, I'm assuming we'll probably get 13 episodes in season 2 also. So stick with your girl. Also, I will be doing live recaps with Candy Love and Aries also known as Dial M for Movies. On Sunday evening, I will be streaming that to my channel, so keep your notifications on, check the community tab. Also, if you go to my page and you go to live, once I've scheduled them and they're public, you can see them there. You can click on it. You can hit a remind me because, the notifications be notifications. And I should have said this in the beginning of the video, but as you're watching these videos and, you're sharing is caring, try to stick around to the end of the video. This was a very short live. Usually my lives be about an hour, but like I said, I needed to get on and get off. And, everybody else was doing live. So we did a short but sweet and not to drag the whole thing out for no reasons. Anybody that's coming through on the replay, leave a comment, hashtag replay, drop an emoji, any of those things to help your girl with, the interactions and the algorithm at all, because YouTube be really YouTubing. Also help your girl get to 1,000 by the end of the year. My lips to his ears. We can make it. We can do it. And just kind of stick around for more content. Poke your head around. I will be making up Reasonable Doubt for you guys. I got 2 more episodes and I'm trying to play catch up. But now that Power Book, like I said, I'm going to do Power Book 2 goes to series finale tomorrow around 11:15. So if you're into that, tune in for that. That day I will be, since that's over, next week we only have 2. It'll be 2 episodes left of Reasonable Doubt. I will be filling Reasonable Doubt in the last 2 episodes on a Saturday in Power Spot as lives for those last 2, because it seems your girl can commit better to the lives than I can to pre-record it, because life be getting in the way. But once I commit to y'all in the lives, I got to show up and do it. So I'm going to try to make episodes 6 and 7, I believe. No, 7. I got 6 up. 7 and 8 up to you guys before we get to next week. And then next Saturday, we will do it as a live, episode 9, episode 10. Boom, that'll be done. Power is done this Saturday. Like I said, we're doing Found live Sunday evening with the ladies. Also, the Monsters Anthology, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. I'm doing that with Inga, aka Ginger Snaps, and the ladies and Torian. And I am desperately trying. I got 2 more episodes to watch, you guys, to get Love is Blind season 7, episodes 1 through 6 as a live. Hopefully I can get my slides together and your girl don't be too long-winded. We can get that up. So we're supposed to be doing 3 lives on Sunday, but I'm only hosting 1. So I'll be all right. But like I said, come through for that. Poke your head around the channel and check out some of my other content I will be having. I'm playing catch up, but I'm trying to get a lot of other content out to you guys. Sorry, y'all. I'll have to take a little minute before I speak, because once I put that music on, my outro music, my intro and outro music, technically, sometimes you can't hear me behind it. Keep your notifications on. Check the community tab. Check out some of our other content, because I will be coming out with a October watch list live next weekend, as well as a Saturday sip. Like I said, Reasonable Doubt will be live. So we're going to try to, do the very best that we can. Like I said, sometimes life be life, and please excuse your girl, but, we're going to get the thing done. In any event, I'm going to let you good people go. Have a good night, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.